this weekend, storms swept across the southeast. Over the past 10 years in Georgia, we've seen an increase in what we call billion-dollar natural disasters.
The Madison County Sheriff's Department has stated that fentanyl has been a growing problem in the county for the past 5 to 6 years.
Why THC drinks like these could be off the shelves if the Georgia legislature has its way.
Brian Kemp's key legislative goal, tort reform, is having some pushback.
Oconee Parks Foundation held their Run for Gold 5K and 1 mile fun run yesterday, March 16.
These stories and more
on Grady Newsource at 5.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Megan Pastino.
And I'm Blake Cavanis.
The use of deadly drugs is a growing challenge in Madison and other Georgia counties. Grady Newsource reporter Eddie Newbert explains how overdoses and arrests impact the community.
For overdose cases, we probably deal with 10 to 15 a month, in that range usually.
That's why Patton and other deputies carry this, Narcan, a medicine that rapidly reverses an opioid overdose.
Just about all of them have used it on one occasion or another, and have been pretty lucky with reversals of the effects, but it's not always a success.
The use of fentanyl has rapidly increased in previous years. In 2022, it was involved in more overdose cases than any other drug in Georgia. Jen Carter sees it firsthand.
I mean, we're seeing this on a weekly basis at least.
As an EMS paramedic, she says that the fentanyl problem creates another issue.
Even if we offer it as a pain management source, people are scared of it.
But because this sign hangs in the EMS office, Carter will do what she can.
The best course of action for us right now is just to be available to help them.
Grady Newsource, I'm Eddie Newbert.
Georgia legislators are discussing 2 bills aimed dealing with hemp products. One aims to limit the total THC concentration allowed in them. The other, to pull THC beverages off the shelf entirely.
Our own Grady Newsource reporter Shelby Watson joins us in the studio with the story. Thanks, Megan. I got the chance to talk to Darren Hollis with Classic City Hemp today. He talked to me about the hemp and THC legislation passed last year by the Georgia legislature that dealt a devastating blow to his business, making him move to North Carolina. Now, I also talked to Alan Hart at Classic Sativa, who said that legislation, that they'd actually worked with them, it was supposed to regulate that people only over 21 could buy it, that it wasn't going to be in children's packaging, but at the very last second, they put in some stuff that really dealt a damage to their business. I have more on the story here.
What was once a bustling business is now a hollow shell of blue-chip paint and faded signs. Darren Hollis moved his business, Classic City Hemp, from here to North Carolina last year when state lawmakers passed 11th hour legislation limiting the potency of cannabinoids.
So basically, by them inserting that little paragraph, they put us out of business.
Alan Hart, the owner of Classic Sativa, made a different decision.
We have been considering going out of business, but I have too many customers who rely on us for real cannabis.
Now, Georgia senators aim to regulate the hemp industry again, with 2 bills passed by the Senate last week. One targets the sale of THC drinks like this one. The other, to limit the concentration of cannabinoids like THC in hemp products like these. For dispensaries still in Georgia, this could spell trouble.
Well, it's devastating. Like our friends that own Georgia Hemp, I mean, if that happens to him, he's got 6 or 7 stores. He's going to be out of business.
But dispensaries like Classic Sativa aren't going down without a fight. Hart says THC has too many benefits.
We can talk about euphoria. We can talk about pain relief. We can talk about feeling more at ease. We can talk about some of the safety that you feel when THC is consumed.
Hart plans to attend the House Agricultural and Consumer Affairs Committee meeting on Wednesday to speak to representatives on the bill because he has customers to fight for.
We have to go forward. We have to for the sake of the community. We have to for the sake of Georgia.
The 2 bills are going through House committees right now. Stay tuned to Grady Newsource for the latest updates. Shelby Watson, Grady Newsource.
Thank you for that, Shelby. Juveniles in Georgia who commit crimes are often treated as juveniles under the law. But now the Georgia General Assembly may change that, at least for some teens. Olivia Bontempo explains.
Thanks, Megan. This bill has already passed the Senate, and last week House members took a look at it. Basically, it says that teens as young as 13 can be charged as adults if they make terroristic threats towards their schools. Some of the inspiration behind this bill, as many of you may remember, are the events that happened at Appalachian High School last September. Blue and gold ribbons, posters, and window paintings were all over Barrow County the days following the school shooting that took 4 lives. In September, Sheriff Judd Smith emphasized that love will prevail. Today, he is glad that conversations with Georgia lawmakers may help enhance school safety.
Obviously, we don't want to be remembered for Appalachia, but we will. And it's tough, but the good thing is there's conversations happening that otherwise would have never happened before.
61 becomes law, it will increase criminal penalties for kids who threaten Georgia public and private schools because they will be treated as adults. The House just read the bill last week. I'll keep you up to date on their action. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Olivia. Stay tuned after the break to hear what Georgians have to say about controversial changes to tort reform.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
The future of Voice of America is uncertain since President Donald Trump signed a recent executive order.
Voice of America has been a news source for millions around the world. To people in countries where press freedoms are limited, DeAndre Harris shows you what the program has meant.
That there is no master race. That is a scientific truth. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying.
This is just one example of films produced by the U.S. War Department to counter the Nazis during World War II.
Im Krieg. Unsere Stimmen kommen zu Ihnen aus New York.
This is a voice speaking from America.
A voice from America at war.
The first broadcast of Voice of America is another. It was the height of the war when people around the world, including those in Germany, heard those first words in 1942. The war ended, but Voice of America did not.
American soldiers of every color and religion who smashed across the Normandy beaches and drove on through to the heart of Germany. For the misguided Germans who had swallowed the Nazi bait, the Nazi game did not pay off.
Growing up in a communist country, you only had access on radio or TV, no social media at that time, to the government's point of view, the government's propaganda. So it was really important for us to listen to the Voice of America.
This is Dr. David Rosser speaking. Let's listen in.
Former CNN international anchor Relitsa Vasileva knows firsthand the importance of Voice of America to people longing for freedom and the danger.
Secret, Dad and me. And we knew that there were other people who listened to it surreptitiously, but you never knew who was a Secret Service agent who could tell on you. So we were very, very careful not to tell anybody that we were listening to it.
Now, this release from the White House says taxpayers are no for radical propaganda. UGA history professor Dr. Audrey Haynes expresses the accessibility of the Voice of America and how it provided information in over 40 different languages and how it has reached millions of people on a global basis.
To share information about who we are and what we stand for while also providing a service like
From a release from the Voice of America, they are the largest U.S. international broadcaster, providing news and information in nearly 50 languages to an estimated audience of more than 352 million people. VOA produces content for digital, television, and radio platforms. DeAndre Harris.
Over these broken pieces.
Thank you for that, DeAndre. And now we'll take a look at a bill that would limit the amount of money you could collect in a civil suit, which has now hit a snag in the Georgia State House. Some experts say tort reform will bring more jobs to Georgia and lower insurance costs. Others disagree. Grady Newsource reporter Tristan Bird has both sides of this story. We apologize for these technical difficulties. At this time, we'll bring us right back into a break, but we'll be back shortly with a weekly look into the world of sports.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
The Dutch.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. Spring sports are in full swing here in Athens. Megan, what can you tell us about this week in UGA athletics?
Scenes of celebration inside Stegman Coliseum yesterday as the Georgia men's basketball team gathered to receive their spot in the NCAA tournament. This accomplishment marks their first trip to the tournament in a decade. The number 9 seeded Georgia Bulldogs will face off against Gonzaga this Thursday at 4:35 p.m. Now transitioning from the court to the diamond, Georgia's 5th-ranked baseball team faced their first loss of the 2025 season this Saturday, falling to SEC rival Kentucky 10-7 in the second game of their weekend series. This loss interrupted the longest win streak in Georgia baseball history since their 1908 team. Don't be alarmed, Dog fans. The Bulldogs quickly returned to their victorious fashion with a win to secure the series on Sunday afternoon.
Now looking ahead, Georgia Swim and Dive prepared to take on the 2025 NCAA Championship this Wednesday, sending 23 athletes from UGA now traveling to Washington State to compete. We'll bring you the latest on their performance as results are posted, so tune in on Wednesday evening to check in on our dogs on the road. I'm Megan Pastino with Grady Newsource, wishing some St. Patrick's Day luck to your Georgia Bulldogs and all of our viewers at home.
Thanks, Megan. After the break, I will be joined with reporter Alana Jacob to give you the tips on tornado safety preparedness. And I'll be giving you the 5-day weather forecast as we move from winter to spring this week.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. In light of the recent severe weather that has spread across the country, I'm here with reporter Alana Jacob, who has the latest safety tips on what to do if a tornado is in your area. Alana, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Blake. So as you may know, Governor Kemp declared a state of emergency at noon on Saturday over the weekend. This is a preventative action. This grants resources and open communication between emergency management agencies on the local level. We may not have seen damage here in Athens, but areas like North Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama experienced severe weather damage. This brings up a greater topic of billion-dollar storms, which have increased from 2 to 13 over the past 10 years. And this costs money. This costs $10 to $20 billion in repairs. And after speaking with agricultural climatologist Pam Knox, the cause is an increase in global temperature and natural human behavior like building properties near coasts. Here's what she had to say.
The coast of Georgia doesn't get directly hit by hurricanes very often, or at least it hasn't for a while. If you go back to the 1890s, it got hit 2 or 3 times in that decade on the East Coast. And so we know sooner or later it's gonna happen again. And it could be very bad when it does. It'll be if a storm hits the East Coast, it'll be $1 billion disaster most likely.
Now, there are preventable measures that local emergency management agencies have in place. Meredith Barnum, who I spoke with this afternoon, she works for Athens-Clarke County, and she said that she's working on a grant process in Athens-Clarke County to get more generators. And CJ Warden also has some advice to share about how people can prepare for what feels like the unexpected.
Advice that I can give to anybody is to be prepared, or prepare yourself to be without access to the outside world for 3 days, including whatever food, medication, pet food, anything that you need to sustain yourself, including climate control if it's really cold. If it's hot, you can open a window in Georgia and be okay, but if it's cold, then prepare yourself to be without any sort of utility for that amount of time until either access via road is restored or utilities are restored.
Thanks, Alana, for those safety tips. Coming off the severe weather we had this past weekend, it looks like we'll be having a nice week of weather. Tonight, we'll be reaching a low of 38, and on Tuesday, the sun will be back out with a high of 76 and a low of 42. Wednesday will be another warm day with clear skies and a high of 78, but there will be some showers that night that will extend into Thursday morning. And then there will be a low of 38 at night. The sun should come out that afternoon and to extend to Friday with a high of 65. This is all for this week's 5-day forecast. Back to you, Megan.
Thank you, Blake and Alana, for those insights and safety tips. I'm looking forward to a true taste of spring in the Classic City this week. Is your teen a first responder? Grady Newsource reporter Tanvi Gujral brings us insight into a local program that might be making this dream a reality.
Thank you, Megan. As she mentioned, if you have a 14 to 17-year-old interested in fire rescue, emergency medicine, or law enforcement, then the Oconee County Fire Explorers program is for you. The award-winning program meets weekly for fire and medical training. Teens who complete the program are even in line for recruitment at the department. Let's take a look.
So a lot of the stuff that our firefighters go through in the recruit program, they're going to kind of echo that same level of training. So they can actually go into a live fire, very controlled environment, very safe environment for them. One in particular in the past that went through part of our recruiting program, since they were recuperated from that, I do know for a fact they went to a paid department in the state, and as far as I know, have been very successful with that.
If you think your child will be a future firefighter or first responder, recruitment is open right now, and the Explorers will be meeting tomorrow for training. Back to you, Megan and Blake.
Thanks, Tanvi. This St. Patrick's Day, reporter Erin Pagankoff brings us the latest on how one community is running for a cause. That story after the break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Oconee County is racing towards a new playground at the Bogart Sports Complex. Grady Newsource, Erin Pagankoff, tells us more about the Run for Gold.
And they're off. Family and friends cheer as runners take on the Run for Gold 5K and 1 mile fun run.
This particular fundraiser that we do each year is to raise money for a new playground for Bogart Sports Complex.
Yes. Those who registered got these t-shirts. Some even wore them to run. And if you finished, runners were given St. Patrick's Day bead necklaces. 5K winners, medals. All registration fees and donations went to one thing: funding for a new playground.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, investing in children and children's safe play is always a good idea. It's a sign of a healthy, thriving community.
Runners of all ages took part in the Run for Gold 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run, each reaching the finish line in support of Oconee Parks Foundation's plans for a new community playground. Erin Pegenkoff, Grady Newsource.
Thank you, Erin. What a fun way to enjoy this wonderful weather you've just been describing. In their second year, the Run for Gold has seen a 25% increase in participants. Maybe we'll be out there next year. We'll see.
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way, Megan.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Blake. How lucky are we to get to spend this evening here with Grady Newsource?
The luckiest. And we'll be back on Wednesday at 5 to bring you the latest news for Northeast Georgia.
And if you're not quite done celebrating St. Patrick's Day right here with Grady Newsource, there's plenty more fun to be had. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, X, or at our website at any time to review the fun that we've had and some news from Northeast Georgia. I'm Megan Pastino.
And I'm Blake Cavanis.
And this has been Grady Newsource.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Your home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future.
Will you cue me?
The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Oh, I know. I'm just going to hand this to Sabrina. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Grady Newsource. This is our post-show critique today. Hope you enjoyed the show. And now you'll hear all about the parts that maybe you didn't get to enjoy so much because of a host of reasons, one of which Sabrina, our audio person, is going to tell us about today. It's all yours.
Hi, guys. So, when you guys are, creating your packages and stuff, and when you have video, it is very important for you to balance your audio and to make sure it's all at the same level, because when you don't, and it gets to us and we're on the air, I am constantly having to move the audio up and down, and it makes it a less than desirable experience for our viewers, because then it's it's really loud, and then it's really quiet, and then I'm just kind of oh my God, no. So if you could please work on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. So just to beat a dead horse, what she didn't say that she has to listen to is me screaming. Turn up the audio! Turn up the audio! That is, it's not the number one thing, but it is the number two thing. And I'm not sure, I talked to a couple of you when your audio wasn't right, and I said, hey, go fix that. You guys know where the audio is supposed to be, right? Where's it supposed to be? What's the gain level?
Negative 12 peak. Minus 12 peak. Oh, that's what I meant.
Minus 12 peak. Everything has to be that. Because what happens is by the time I'm screaming, turn up the audio, she's already doing what we call riding the pot. Our viewers miss it. And I'll tell you, in some cases tonight, they miss some important stuff, and it's a shame. And you guys, that's sort of audio, video, one-on-one. Remember when I said people will lose the video, and if the sound's good, they'll hang a while. It's that important, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But I don't want to see that anymore. You guys know better, okay? If you have a problem and you need a little bit of training, you know, shoot me a text and we'll handle it, okay? All righty. So let's just free-flow for a second. What did y'all think about the show? Who wants to comment? Our associate producer, Dr. Schroeder, take it away.
Overall, I mean, given kind of the hectic last 30 minutes, I thought we put it together pretty well. Obviously, there were some issues with production and obviously like audio, as you said, but I thought the packages were interesting. It was a decent array of things, too. I thought everyone did a good job on camera. I think at the end of the day, maybe it just comes down to like when we get our packages in, and we had done like a 4 p.m. deadline. In the past, we did 4:30 today, and then it just kind of dragged on a little bit. So I don't know whether that's maybe we just, you know, have to get out earlier or, you know, get scripts approved at a certain point. I think there can be a bit of a backlog sometimes, and like people getting their scripts approved, and then maybe at that point they don't have as much time to edit as they thought. Obviously, you know, we wanted to do a live shot, but maybe the scripting process takes a little bit more time than you anticipate. I've been in that situation before. So those are some things, I guess, that I noticed. But I thought, given some of the difficulties that we came across, we did a pretty decent job at overcoming them. Unfortunately, we did run a few minutes late, or short, I mean. So that's just my 2 cents.
You made some great points. Anybody else want to share anything?
I want to say all the packages that I got the pleasure of watching, everyone's doing a really, really good job of writing to their video. I noticed that so much today. Like Aaron and Shelby are the two that are like really standing out in my mind, but every single package I think was really good, and it's been super helpful for me because I'm like just now starting out TV. So I just wanted to say that that was just one good thing that I really noticed, and it made the show really good today. So
yeah, that was my number. There are 3 points I was going to go over today. That was my number 3. And Jack Keys kind of started us off in a pretty good way last week with the writing to video and using audio. And so what you're going to find me doing, and I did this to Aaron today, and I did this to DeAndre today, I'm not going to let you do just competent work. You're past that. It's time to step up the game, and we're going to write to video. And I know it feels like a pain in the tuchus, but ultimately you're much happier with your story, are you not, Aaron? This is where Aaron goes, sure I am, sure I am. But you know, if you weren't, you weren't. If you are, you are.
I'm much happier with my story. I feel like this was one of the first and only times where I was like done with it, and I was like, that was pretty good. Like, not stressing about it afterwards, thinking about what I could have done, because I think I had enough in there where I was happy with it, and so I wasn't thinking about all the stuff that I missed. Yeah. So I was like, it was really good that I was able to, I knew going to the event that I was just like, shoot video, shoot video, shoot video. I stood at the finish line for the entire 1K and just tried to get everything that I could, and I know I could have gotten more, but it made it easy to write and produce what I could, or edit what I could.
Great point. And I really liked your story today. Frankly, in what universe are we going, oh my God, I can't wait to see this story about a race. You know what? It was engaging. And you all know it is not easy to hold people's attention. These days you're competing against a whole world. Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay.
I'll just say, I think when we had like the weather segment, I will say it was just a bit awkward, just having me and Alana next to each other, and our only interaction was at the like very beginning. That was just one note I had. But then also, like, I didn't really know what to do in that situation, whether I should just stare at her. But then she would also have to, like, look back at me occasionally and then, like, look back to the audience. But we weren't really having a conversation there.
And that's how we learn some things at Grady Newsource. So, producer.
Yes, I would love to comment.
Yeah. And yeah, so don't get crazy about it, because that's how we learn what to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was watching, I was like, this is so awkward. But I think, like, I mean, I'm glad we tried it, though. It was like, it's something new, something, you know, that we haven't done before. We don't really utilize the weather wall that much, you know. We just do it for the 5-day forecast. But, yeah, I definitely won't do that for Wednesday. But what I do want to do is I do want to have more conversation between reporter and anchor. Because I think, and Alana was saying this last week too, because I think sometimes like the anchors, like they literally just say leads, and like, which is fine, but it's not as like engaging sometimes, because we're just like, it's like they're separate from the reporters, when like anchors are still reporters. Like, you know, you guys still, we switch out, or, you know, we report, we anchor, whatever. So yeah, I won't do that for Wednesday, but I think I will try something else. I mean, I'll probably do like a 2-box thing where like someone's talking and answering questions and then going back and forth, just so there's more like conversation there. But all in all, I think you guys did a good job with the awkwardness that you guys were given.
You didn't give them awkwardness. I'm glad that you did that way. I think it's smart. You are Grady Newsource. If you can't experiment here, then I don't know where you can. You know, the only thing that I absolutely demand in here is facts and verification of facts. We're going to have a little conversation about that in a moment. But I applaud you. Let me ask you this. Instead of just abandoning it, how might you do it differently?
For one, the graphic, the thing with the weather wall is it is so big, which sometimes is nice. I really liked you with the video behind. I thought that was good. I think that was a good way to utilize the weather wall. But with something like that, we couldn't even see the words. We couldn't even see your name, which I wanted. So I think instead of, if I wanted both of you guys to be there, I think there should have been video behind you instead of just a graphic like that. I think that would have made it a little bit better. And also, if I was gonna have you guys both stand there, you guys needed to interact like the whole time instead of just like the first half.
And maybe one way to interact is to have him ask questions. You could function almost like a viewer. Hey, Alana, that woman just said this, that, and the other thing. Does that mean X, Y, Z? And this speaks to anchor engagement in all the news stories. Now, truth of the matter is, Alana got great interviews, but boy, she was here late, and you didn't have that opportunity. But in our not perfect world, because that won't happen, but in our better world that we're going to have Wednesday, much better, that will happen. And so think of yourself, if you're ever an anchor in that situation, number one, you do need to look at them while they're while they're talking, and then look back, you know, at the audience. It is a 3-way conversation. But don't hesitate, you know, ask a question. Oh, sure, if you're running heavy, your producer's going to go, what? But we weren't, and she wouldn't have. So really pay attention and listen, and feel comfortable doing that, any of you who anchor. You wanted to say something, Alana?
Yeah, I was also going to say,
That's okay, let me give you a mic.
I was also going to say, just watching other newscasts, I think traditionally when you're having a conversation between anchor and reporter, it's sitting down, which I think has led to some awkward encounters with that dynamic that we are trying to do. So I don't know if we can figure out a way, if it is like a Q&A segment, to try to have it sitting down and see what that looks like instead. Because I tried that at the anchor desk with Ion and Gunter, was it Gunter? And I think it looked pretty good. And then, like, usually you have sports standing up because it's an exciting, unless it's like a tragic story or something, but like.
And then they're still standing.
Yeah, they're usually still standing. So sports is, like, if you watch other newscasts, sports is usually standing, and then obviously weather you'll need to stand. But if standing isn't necessary, like, sitting down is just more, like, if I'm sitting down, it's like, oh, let's talk.
I'm chilling.
Let's have a conversation. So that's something to think about for the next time we try something like that, maybe.
I think that's a good thought. I would push a little bit on, be careful about copying what we see in other places, because the truth of the matter is, we're all looking to you all to help us to reinvent and to perform a little differently. But that doesn't mean throw the baby out with the bathwater. If that is a good thing to do, and if it does, you know, have a more relaxed feel, and if it makes you all feel more relaxed, yeah, we can try it. We can try it, you know, as I said at the beginning of the semester. If you can dream it, we can do it. And I would rather have thoroughbred Kentucky racehorses I got to pull back on the bit to slow down than donkeys that I have to kick in the behind to get them to move. So you know who you are. All right. Yes, Holly Kate.
I agree with everything. I think there's always room to like try things, but also think more like what Alana's saying is like, if we were to actually have a conversation, like what will we be doing? I think also going back to like what looks good at the weather wall, I loved Olivia's video in the back. And when Olivia is at the weather wall, she does a great job, and we all need to take note of this, is she makes the graphics so that she has room where to stand. And so she's never standing in front of words, she's standing in front of just a color or standing in like the side of a shape. And I think we all, because I love the weather wall, I think it looks so good. So like doing that, it looks really, really good. So Olivia does a great job at that. I also think there's room to like try, like when I was on weather, like tapping things and like being interactive with the sports wall or with the weather wall is another way to like make it conversational, make it fun, make it like cool to watch while we're like tapping things and different things show up. Of course, we have to communicate with the people in there, but that would be awesome to do. And then one other thing about like anchors knowing what's going on, I think we just like, I wish I did this as an anchor more, and I think that obviously this is everyone's first day, but for Wednesday, to help with the conversational aspect is to literally like, this might be like annoying, but I was with Tristan all day long, just like reading her script, like she asked me to. And like if anchors, you have downtime, like just sitting down, like I probably could talk for a while and ask Tristan questions like about her story. Like if you're just like sitting over her shoulder, doing whatever you need to be doing on your laptop, but like looking over at like a reporter's computer just to like see the words and like have questions in your head, maybe y'all can like ad-lib a little bit on air. I think that would be interesting and cool to know as well.
I like was literally thinking that. I think it might be better to do a conversation thing with not a script, because I think that makes it more conversational. So maybe we'll try something like that. So, but the only thing is that, you know, as a reporter and then the person asking the questions, you'd have to know what you're talking about, which everybody does. So.
That is a beautiful segue to my point one. Oh my God, it's like we produced it, producer. Point one. So we mentioned that if Blake had had the time, if Alana had gotten in, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is today we had a little bit of hiccup, and it wasn't necessary things, okay? So let me just regroup everybody so that you understand my expectations of you at this point. We know, Jack knows, Aaron knows, some of you know, DeAndre, I'm going to send you back if you're, and A1 Eddie knows too, I'm going to send you back if you're not video referencing. I'm not going to waste my time letting you just be merely competent. You are better than that. And I want you to be proud of what you do in the way that you can be. So if you haven't video referenced, how about from Wednesday on, you don't come to me with your script. Let's not waste each other's time and get stuff in late when you know I'm going to say, what's your video here? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? Can we agree on that? Okay. Let's agree on the other thing, and this is most important. We have a certain reputation as a profession, as an industry. We have people talking about errors we make. When we make errors, if a doctor cuts off the wrong leg, it might be a news story for a minute, but we don't have #fake doctors. It doesn't become a cause celebre in America and around the world. You don't go to your Thanksgiving dinner table and have your relatives tell you how much they hate what you do. You know, you're special. And you have a high bar. And it's not just going to be enough to get it right most of the time. You're going to have to get it right all the time. You know I'm going to ask for primary sources. I will kill your story before I'll let you get in there and have it wrong. Okay? Because you won't recover from that. You'll recover from having a goofy stand-up or, you know, maybe video that looks crummy, or some of you I've said today, I'm just keeping you out of court. This is terrible, but you can recover from that. You cannot recover from getting it wrong. But really, it's not about you. It's about everybody else that has tons of information coming at them all the time. Who do we trust? Who do we trust for our news sources nowadays? It's not really even a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it for me, but you might want to answer it for yourself. And you might want to ask other people around you who they trust. I have a hard time getting people telling me they trust anybody. So you don't get license. You have no wiggle room when it comes to facts and verification of their facts. Absolutely none. So please, don't, today we were pushed behind in the queue because I had to send people back for verification of facts. And you know, our show is like a dominoes. When one thing happens, all of a sudden, everything falls apart. And today our fall apart was reasonably significant. We didn't get Tristan's story on the air. Any day it could have been anything. And sometimes, look, this is the news business, and that's going to happen. You know, that we'll have problems like this. Equipment will break. Sometimes we're just, I don't know, not on our A game. And we'll have issues. But let's take care of the issues that we know are going to waste time. Your story's not going on the air without me looking at it. So if I don't have time to look at it, because I've had to go back and go, who said this? Who said that? You know we can't use a .com. You know it's got to be a primary source. Where's your primary source? It's an utter waste of time, and it harms absolutely everybody on the team. You're not just harming you and your grade. You're harming everybody else who had something that could have gone from good to great, but didn't get me in time because you didn't do what you know by now you need to do. Are we clear crystal on that? That's your most important thing. The people that watch you deserve it. And where you go to work in the future, the people that will watch you and go on your social media and read what you write deserve it and need it. Okay? Believe that. Believe that you do matter. Take your work seriously. You don't have to take yourself all that seriously. I don't mind the little Irish jigs you were doing. That's cool. But take the work seriously, okay? All right. And the second thing is writing to the video, and I've already beat that dead horse. Okay? Well, actually, the second thing was the audio. And I let Sabrina, I don't even need to say anything more about that. And number 3 was the writing to video. I'm going to send you back. All in all. You snuck one in on me today, Shelby. I changed some of what she said, and she just decided to add some stuff. It was like, Cantrell took this out, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say it real fast, that way she won't know. In the lead. Yeah. I think that was a mistake. Whatever. It's very Shelby-ish, and I'm cool with it. Listen, if you're committed, be committed. We lost the original when we edited, and I went back, and I guess I forgot. Yeah, you did the Shelby on it, which is I have every fact, you know, going from get your facts and verify them to Shelby. I have every fact. I took time to get it, and you will listen to every last fact. Remember, our job, we're not doing, what's the word? Amanuensis duty. We're not just taking notes and then vomiting them out to people. Your job is to use the intellectual rigor that you have, your experience, your knowledge, your education, to tell people what they absolutely need to know. Given my choice, my druthers, give me that any day of the year. Good job. I want to see you did a good job writing to your video today. And it was not easy. She had blue chipped paint. It was good. It was good. Because I'm thinking, oh, there comes boring legislative story. And my golly, they shouldn't be boring. They absolutely impact all of our lives, right? Very good. Some things that I really liked today. I loved Aaron's story. Megan Pastino. I love your anchoring. You did not need to sit there and do the scaredy hand clench. Always remember, if you do this, you are telling people, I testify that everything I say is the whole truth. Yeah. I mean, you're, oh my God, is that your, that is so not you. I've seen you. I see you. Not you. You was at the end of that cast where you had to ad-lib. Was so good. It was accurate. Was so good. You were human. And guess what? You didn't clasp your hands because you were confident in what you were doing. But you have a really, what is it somebody in there said? Was it you? Somebody in there said, I don't know why she wants to do that other job she's doing. I said, I believe she signed a contract, so I'm not even going to bring that up, but I just did. Anyway, so just know you did a really good job. Blake, I liked her. I liked how you were on the desk. I understood everything that you said. Sometimes anchors get what I call mealy-mouthed, and you can't understand them clearly, but your diction was clear and crisp, and I could absolutely understand you, and you were approachable. Want you to really look over your leads, both of you, so heaven help me, we'll give you time, so that you really can be comfortable and knowledgeable and a little less afraid. But this was your first time. It was excellent. Eddie, you've come a long way. Don't wear that shirt again. I mean, but you had it on in the pre-show tees, and I don't know, was it just me that went, what kind of shirt's he wearing? I wonder what that's up. Are those polka dots or those triangles? I can't really tell from here. Remember, clothes, you should wear clothes. They should not wear you, okay? That shirt is very nice, but it is distracting. So be mindful of that, everyone. You managed with that because at least it was black and white. But patterns detract a lot of times. In fact, a lot of times the camera doesn't love them either. But just remember, we want to absolutely pay attention to you, okay? I liked both your sound bites. You're starting to really come into your own with that. Right to the video. I'm trying to think, is there, let's see. Hold that thought. Oh, one thing that made me sad was this morning we talked that we were going to have this cool VOA video, Voice of America video, and we had the audio of the first Voice of America broadcast. And it was cool. It's like ganz Deutsch, and then it becomes English, and maybe it's just cool to an old lady. You know, I remember that first broadcast. I was 20 in 1940. Oh my God, y'all look like you believe me. And oh yeah, I was 20 and 42. No, thank you. But I have visited Voice of America in Europe at school. But anyway, that should have been headline video. It should have at least been the tease. Reporters, you need to learn to advocate for yourselves. Remember the thing about tease, oh no, I got to do a tease. This is where your head needs to be. Ooh, they want my story for a tease. You want airtime. You want your story to be promoted. You need to fight for that. In no newscast in the universe are we going to have 5 of those things up there. I'm sorry. You know, sorry, you're out and you're in. That's how that goes. So to tease DeAndre's story, some of this video was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yeah. It would have been great to have some Nat sound. Other thing, don't always think, producers, that your teases, headline or otherwise, have to be a stand-up. Always do a stand-up for your story, just in case. But you guys need to advocate for your stories. You should have come in and gone, I have got the best video. I need to be in the pre-show. I have got bombs going off. I have got this, that, and the other thing. Eddie should have come in going, do you have any idea how many people are overdosing every month? I've got a sheriff's deputy that says 13 to 15 every month. I was shocked. Maybe I don't know what's happening, right? Is that not a shocking number for a small rural county? Yes. So, yeah, right. So or the emergency woman who said, we go out at least once a week. Didn't she say that? So when you hear that gold, when you hear that information that viewers need and can benefit from, and that, well, they'll go, whoa, this is my backyard. I didn't know that. what can I do? Or this is my backyard, I didn't know that, oh dear. Whatever it is, give people a chance. Help them fight through the noise of everything, okay? So advocate for your stories. Blah-blah-blah. Fentanyl was good, CBD was good. Alana, your story was really, your soundbite was so cool and so interesting. But you didn't have her till almost 3 o'clock, right?
But I what?
You didn't have the soundbite with Pam Knox till 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah, my interview was at 3.
So it would have been hard to do more with that. But what might have helped is you might have looked up some of that stuff, because what would have been good, we should have used that CNN video. And we absolutely should have used that in your story. So just think about the impact, and when you know we have video like that, we'll find a way to use it. And that sometimes means calling the associate producer, because he and I talked about it. And saying, help, I'm doing this at 3, I need somebody to cut this, I'm going to write to this or that. Or even you saying, hey, I cut 5 seconds of this, and think of it that way. On Wednesday, I think you've got enough stuff, and especially with the data you were telling me about, we were talking about this morning, you might be able to do something else with that. Olivia, you did a really nice job. Tort reform, I think that was part of something happened. We don't know what. What we do know is because there were some verification issues, we were a little late editing. What we also know is then when we're a little late editing, when something goes wrong, things will go wrong and stuff will happen. Lesson learned. DeAndre, what happened to your story's audio? Because we went over it.
That's what I told Nikki the same thing. The audio on my computer was great, but on here it was low.
So talk to Andrew after this, and let's play it back there, and let's see what the gain is. Because I know we talked about it.
It can be deceiving sometimes.
But it shouldn't be if you use your view meter. I believe you, yes.
I noticed the similar, like I can't see a mic for this, I don't have much to say, but like I just am in practice since like video journalism to at least the least to do is at least -12. And I feel like even with my pieces, like I always hear y'all make it louder, like with Judd's song.
Okay.
Like I heard that in the room, and I know for a fact that I went in there and.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a tech thing or if it's because some pieces are too loud, so that it's super low, and then when we come in with the -12, it's too low. But I don't know.
Well, we'll take a look at some. Yes, Ian. We got 2 minutes.
Something that helps me with the audio in terms of that is when I'm going through like looking at the audio levels on the right side with the meter, I know my sound bites, even if I put -12, it'll go lower. So I just go back to audio gain and adjust that by 5, and it'll be around the -12 mark. So it's a little louder and it's more balanced. So you just have to check it when you're going over the second time and just manually have to adjust it on the clip.
So are you saying once you're finished editing, even though you edited
to -12, you have to go back and adjust it a little higher. That's what I normally do to get the audio levels.
How many of you, yes, Eddie?
I just agree.
Oh.
I agree with him. It's just like, I think because we know how to talk with a microphone on, we can keep a steady voice, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, so it bounces up and down, so you just have to adjust it kind of more finely. I agree.
Yeah, so really pay attention to that. And there's also a tool that you can use where you can balance all your audio together. Does that work well enough? Have any of you used that? Mickey? Okay. All righty. Are you aware of it in Premiere?
I've never used that.
Okay. And do it, yeah.
I've used it before. It just grabs the highest pitch and stabilizes it at that. So
Yeah.
some people modulate it and some it tries its best. It's like the warping.
I was going to say, that's, like something that you can do.
I know if you do it
Yeah, so I've never used Audition Stabilizer. Okay.
But other than that, I've never used the actual Premieres because, yeah, like DeAndre said, I feel like Premiere often highlights the highest pitch.
Okay.
Like if it's speaking in wind, it's
Okay.
turn it up to the wind. It's like that's how we're trying to.
Well, we'll take a look. DeAndre, you might want to see how your story runs through there. And let's see exactly where it went south, because that was such an important story. I hated to lose that. All right. So all in all, the things that we're talking about today, with the exception of the primary sourcing thing, which I feel like I'm just coming back to over and over again, I think y'all are testing me to see if I'll forget about it. I won't, and you don't want me to. We're moving and discussing from a higher plane, and that's the goal. So, yay, you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.